Right, so let's get to this then. So I've worked on this before about a year ago, this console. The customer's just got in touch with me today. Um, and it's just suddenly died, like completely no power whatsoever. Um, so I think I did a retimer on it. I'm not 100% sure. Actually, I can check what I did. I can go back on the chat history because I've got him on Facebook. So let's find out what I did to it. Right, I unlocked a phone for him. So I've done a phone unlock for him. Aha, it was no power. It was no power on the 14th of April 2020. It right, so it was. He lives literally a couple of streets away from me. He lives literally next to the kids' school. Um, I think I picked it up from him last time. Damn, this is how long ago this was. Check this out. Look at the equipment I'm using. Oh, damn. Man, that was a long time ago. Holy hell. That was a while ago, man. Yeah, so I think it was MOSFETs last time. I've probably got a video on it, to be honest. I've probably already done this on a video. So, yeah, so completely dead. That's a good thing. Completely dead, no power is a good thing. And the reason for that is because if it was beep on, beep off, it can be literally anything. But if it's completely no power, then it's usually either power supply or it would be something to do with the power rails. Well, first of all, let's go back 14 months and see what kind of work quality I was doing back then, shall we? Nice to see I didn't damage the plastics. So yeah, obviously this isn't going to be under warranty because it's over 12 months. It's over my 3-month warranty period, so I think I charged him about £40 for the repair. Let's see if I put all the screws back. Did I put all the screws back? I think I did. I like working on consoles for a second time, especially so long afterwards, because it kind of takes me back a little bit. Right, we've got some discoloration around here on these two phases here, which is phase 1 and 2. So I can see a bit of discoloration here on these phases, which means they've got fairly warm. I don't know if that's going to come across. It should do. That should come across on the camera. But this one here is a different colour to these, so it looks like these two phases have got fairly warm. So something's going on in that area. One thing you'll notice about me is, even as I'm taking it apart, I'm always looking. I'm always trying to find any kind of signs. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, the part swapping jobs, they're the easy ones. That's why they normally go to other people, and I'll just get the stuff that people can't do because of physical limitations. You know, like not having the equipment, or technical limitations where they just don't know how to, or don't know the diagnostic process, things like that. A lot of problems these days, I can just get the issue description and just know what's gone on, know what the problem is. Wow, this was the time when I was using HY510. Damn. Damn. This is a piece of history right here. Right, so I can't see any signs of liquid damage. I mean, overall, it looks fairly good. Probably a magnetic strip so I can stop losing the X-clamp tool. Right, let's pop out the multimeter. First thing I'm going to do is check the 12-volt rail. So I'm going to load up my camera software and I'm going to zoom in a little bit, save using the scope. That'll do. So let's check the 12 volt rail. I'm imagining we're probably going to have some sort of a short on 12 volt. I'm going to go to continuity mode, and I'm going to test the 12 volt rail for a short to ground. So I'm going to ground it. And we do indeed have a short to ground. Yeah, so we've got a short to ground on the 12 volt rail, which is kind of what I expected. So let's use some good old fashioned voltage injection and find out where this short is. So basically what tends to happen is when we've got no power at all. So there's two types of no power. There's the type of power where there's a beep on and beep off, so it turns on and then turns straight back off, and there's a type where it's just completely dead. When it's completely dead, then usually that's because there's a short on the 12 volt rail and the power supply is automatically going into protection mode to stop it from damaging the board. When there's a short on the 12 volt rail, we can inject voltage to find a heat spot. And this is the fun part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with 1 volt. I'm not going to current limit it, so I'm going to keep it set to 5 amps. I'm not going to current limit it, but I am going to limit it by voltage. And I'm going to start with 1 volt, and if I need to, then I'll move up a little bit. Safe voltage to inject is always going to be lower than your lowest possible rail. So the lowest possible rail on here is going to be 1.1 volts for the APU. So what you want to do is inject lower than your lowest voltage rail, because if it's shorted to somewhere, like let's say for example 12 volt is shorted to the 1.1 volt rail, then injecting 1 volt isn't going to cause it to inject too much voltage into the 1.1 volt rail, if that makes sense. So we always step it lower than the lowest voltage, the lowest possible voltage rail that we've got. So in this case it's 1.1. Anything with a CPU is going to be like 1.1 volts. Well, 1.1 to 1.4 volts. You can go higher. I have gone as high as 3 or 4 volts in the past, but to start with, just to see if we can pick up any kind of heat spot, I'll start with 1 volt and then work my way up if I need to. So I'm going to turn on my bench supply. And we draw in 540 milliamps, so half an amp. So I'm going to just feel around doing the AWI test, and I'm going to find the short. Right now it's not showing itself. So this is where the thermal camera would come in handy if I actually knew where it was. But the board right now is ice cold. So I'm going to increase the voltage to 1.2 volts. And that's going to increase the amount of current which flows through. So now we're drawing 765 milliamps. Jump to 24 volts. So I'm expecting the short to be around here. The board is absolutely ice cold right now. Ice cold. It's getting a little bit warmer around this area. I believe it's going to be on this phase here, phase number 1. But I need to make sure. 1.4 volts, and we're drawing a whole 1 amp of current. That is a lot of current. And it looks like this is being sunk straight to ground. It's definitely warmer on this side of the board. Thank you, Jordan. Welcome, mate. I'm Boss, welcome. I haven't seen that Facebook post. I don't really go on Facebook, mate, to be honest. Bad APU? Nah. An APU wouldn't cause it to have no power whatsoever. An APU issue would cause it to have a beep on, beep off. Right, we are drawing a whole amp of current and no heat signature from anywhere where 12 volt should be. Absolutely no heat. 1.1 amps right now. It is definitely warmer here than it is around the other side of the board. Right, so I'm going to go. I don't think the short is going to be on the APU, so I'm going to go straight to 2 volts. That should allow me to draw around about 1.5 amps of current. 1.7, 1.8 amps of current right now. And yet still no heat. .83 amps. That's a lot of current to have no heat. Hang on. I'm getting it. It's middle MOSFET. Just starting to get warm right now. I don't know where my heat cam is, mate. I've lost that. It's been missing for about 2 months. Yeah, it's this MOSFET right here. So let me pop under the scope and I will show you some isopropyl alcohol evaporating in that area. What is this all over here? Right, which one did I change before? I believe it was this one here. This one looks like it's had fresh soldering in the past. I'm not sure if I changed this one at all, but let me just give you some juice, and then in a second it should start warming up. Bit of IPA on there. And now I know where the short is, I'm actually going to increase the voltage to speed up the process. I'll go to 3 volts. Now I know where the short is, it'll just speed up the process. There you go, can you see that right there? That's 3.2 amps. And there's your short. So you see how that's evaporating on that one specific MOSFET. So if we remove this MOSFET, we should no longer have a short. Looks like I might have removed this MOSFET before. It's making me wonder if the customer's kind of got some issues with electrics in his house. If we've come across the same issue twice. I'm not sure what's all over the board, to be honest, but there's something on the board. I'm not sure what it is. Let's have some thermal pasta. Not thermal pasta. Some flux. Right. And let's get some solder. Could be having power spikes in his street. Yeah, he does live right next to a school, which I assume he's going to be using a lot of power. Right, I'm going to need the assistance of the hot air here because I'm using the micro pencil. There we go. Yoink. No, I know the short's going to be gone, mate, so it's kind of pointless, to be honest, checking it. And come on, surface tension. Move. You will live on an Xbox, whether you like it or not. Your destiny is on an Xbox. Doesn't really matter if there's a bridge on these, but may as well make it look a little bit clean. Right. Let's just clean this up. Okay, and we should be done. It should be as simple as that. But let's test and make sure the short is gone now. Now let's got a new MOSFET there. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. And there we go. We're checking resistance mode. Whoops. $170k. And dropping a little bit because it's starting to cool down the board. Resistance always increases when the board is warm. So the short is gone and this should turn on. The short is gone and this should turn on. That is the motto. Power supply. No quarter fan spin. But it's turning on. Ah, forgot to plug the fan in. It's turning on. Displaying in 1080. It's actually showing on the TV behind me as well. Sweet. Nice, John. Enjoy, mate. I like stew steak. Save me some. Right, I can have a look and see. Oh, I haven't got the Wi-Fi card plugged in. Let's just make sure the internet works. Oh, hang on. Oh, hang on. We've got flickering. HDMI port's a little bit iffy. Problem is I haven't got any HDMI ports, but the port is a little bit iffy. Right, well this should pop up with wired in a second. Gamer tags are public, mate. Right, let's see if it wants to show up the disk. It might not because I'm not signed in. Oh yeah, it does. Never mind. Right, so yeah, that's all working absolutely fine. Cool. Happy days.